This is Neil, the crazy inventor, again, with my book, You're Amazing and I'll Prove It. I have heard many times in the last number of years that there's a great awakening going on, and there certainly is, with the amount of people that are realizing that communism is trying to take over our country and is almost have it. Well, with that awakening, one of the things that's going on is that a lot of people don't even realize that they're asleep or that they've been hypnotized in such a way that they see things that really aren't true. Well, anytime that, and I'll just continue to use the word communism because I don't have any cards, any time you have a communist society who certain people want to sit at the top and they want to dictate down to everyone else what they can and cannot do. There's certain techniques that they do, and I will use this. They use brainwashing, and brainwashing is I did one of the other videos on it, and there's only one defense against brainwashing, and that is knowing how it's done. Well, part of knowing how it's done is that the person that is brainwashing you will not allow you to ask questions, or they won't allow you to ask certain questions. And so I've been trying to find a way that I can show you, whoever views this, whether it's one person or a billion, how to show you how to wake someone up. So at least they'll start hearing something. I was speaking to a few people a while back who were so far removed from the way I see things, and they were certain, absolutely certain, that their point of view was the right point of view. And so instead of attacking them, because you cannot attack them, if you attack them, it's not going to do any good whatsoever, you ask questions. And the question I asked of these people were, is there any place I can go to verify that? And they took that back, and I let them know that this is not a confrontation. I literally put my hands up and said, this is not a confrontation. I said, what I mean by that is that I am an inventor. And because I am an inventor, I cannot use anything that I cannot verify. So they were giving me information, and I just asked them, is there some place I can go to verify that information? So one of the ways that you can go into speaking with someone is use the fact about inventors. If I was an inventor, I couldn't invent anything. You don't have to say that you're an inventor. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. So I'm trying to give you a way that you can reach someone that may be hypnotized, or you can also say asleep. That's why they say wake up on 5. They're not really asleep, but they're hypnotized. Anyway, so start out with the inventor part and just say that you can't invent anything without verifying it. And then ask yourself some questions, and you can ask them questions also, and say, I can't guarantee that they're going to listen to the facts, but you can tell them that they can verify those facts if they want. And this is one of the places that I go to get people to hear me. And I say, well, Nixon, they were going to impeach Nixon because he stole one FBI file. And the next question is, should he have been impeached for stealing one? Well, you need to look into it for yourself, but the fact is, yes, it's highly illegal. He is not allowed to have even one file, because if he has that one file, he can blackmail that person and get them to do things that he wants them to do. So he's not allowed to even have one, because if he has one, then how many more is he going to get? You can't even give them one. So we all agree on that. It doesn't matter what side you're on that part. We all agree on the fact that Nixon should not have had that FBI file. And that's one of the reasons that you go into that particular one, because you find a place where everybody agrees. And you start out from a place that everybody agrees. And then you go from there. And from there, 1972 and Watergate and Nixon, you have to fast forward. I've been watching this since 1972 when Watergate happened. And in 1992, and I will use, where is it, baby? I got it. I will use a flyer on this, because this definitely will grab the censors and possibly block this from even getting on. But at the same time, unless you share this with a lot of people, this message isn't going to wake up hardly anybody. We need to completely wake everybody up. Okay? So start out with a place that we all agree, and that was Watergate. And then we move fast forward to 1992, and they steal 900, and you can verify that, 900 files. And nobody said a thing, because they were on this wing, which is the communist wing. And like I said, as an inventor, it makes no difference which wing you're on, but you definitely do not want either wing to have absolute control. The only thing worse is to have both wings working together. So these people, because they were on this wing, they stole 900 files. Well, ask the person that you're dealing with and say to them, what would they do with those 900 files? Well, let's see here. Let's just round it off. You've got, what, 450? I don't know exactly how many it is, but 400 congressmen. So you could blackmail all of them. You got 100 senators. Now you're up to 500. You blackmail all of them. You've got 50 governors. Blackmail all of them. And at this point, what are we up to? 550. We're up to 550. Okay, so I got a lot left to go. There's more people that I can blackmail. I can blackmail, God only knows how many judges. I can blackmail everybody on the Supreme Court. Boy, I mean, but because they were on this wing, it was okay. There was no problem here, right? It's fine. Doesn't want you to ask questions. That's another way that you can get around. That's one of the defenses against this, because if you ask questions and truly look for the answer, then that won't work. It doesn't matter what they throw at you. If you continually ask questions and the answer to those questions do not match up with what they're saying, then you know that they're doing that, and they're trying to get you to make the decision they want you to make. So another way that that I was able to get into somebody's head and get them to think for themselves is that back when 4 years ago, when the person that's in there in the right here it's in there now, they were telling us that we were going to get into a nuclear war with North Korea. And I actually had some young people right around college age that were just scared to death about this. Oh my God, this guy was going to get us into a nuclear war, and we had to get rid of him because he was going to get into a nuclear war. So I went out and I got a little bit of statistics so I could then go and talk to these people, and these beautiful young people. And that's the other thing, is that these are good people. They are hypnotized. These are good people. So never attack them. Never attack them. So I went to talk to these college kids, and I said, okay, well, can I ask a few questions? And they said, sure. I said, okay, how big geographically is North Korea? And they all shrugged their shoulders. I don't know. And I said, it's about the size of New York. I said, okay, what's their population? Again, they shrugged. I said, it's about the size of Texas. I said, what's their GDP? In fact, what is their New York, the size of New York, what do they produce as far as money goes per year? And the fact is that their population is starving. They produce almost nothing. The economy is down the drain because it is a communist society. And I asked them, and how large is their military? Well, they have almost no military. Certainly in comparison to what we have. And so I said, okay, so you're telling me that a starving, because their people are starving, I don't remember if I put that in there too, that people are literally starving. A starving New York that doesn't have any military to speak of, that has no money to speak of, is going to attack the most powerful country in the world? Don't get me wrong. I don't want nuclear weapons any more than anybody else, but let's face it, that's highly unlikely. And the kids looked at me and they're like, you're right. Ask questions. If you get them to ask questions, or you ask questions for them and then show them where the actual answer is, then you can actually get them unhypnotized. They start seeing the world the way it actually is, what the statistics say. So far I gave you the this one. I gave you how to go through Watergate and show them how this happened. I actually have to continue this story because I was watching this back in 1972, and then when the 900 files happened in 92, I've been watching it since then, but it's really difficult for me to see what was going on up until fairly recently, because none of it was on the surface. They were burying. I mean, if you're going to blackmail somebody, you're not going to tell everybody about it. So everybody behind the scenes that's getting blackmailed, and they're getting more and more power and more control, well, you won't see that. So in the last few years, I realized after watching what was going on, and then finally in the last 4 years, with all the stuff that was coming out behind the scenes, if you ask questions and you look for documentation, that's another way to get people to wake up. Ask questions, look for for accurate documentation. And if there's some documents that say that document isn't real, then it's not real. Well, not real if these documents are accurate. You know, ask questions. What happened is that these people screwed up, because 900 files is nothing to them and other branches of different alphabet. So all of a sudden, they had millions of files that they could go around and they could blackmail people with. So that was two of the things that you can point out to get them to start to wake up. These are good people. They have just been hypnotized, and they don't see what's going on. And if we lose this country, we're in real big trouble, because slavery has been the norm for the vast majority of humanity. In fact, humanity's only been free since America was founded. And when America was founded and people became free, that's when innovation exploded. But they're trying to get us back to where we're all slaves. So I'm trying to give you a way that you can start to dehypnotize people. So we've got to, as the little guy, we got to reach out, whether it's one person to two people or three people that you reach. If we all reach one person or two people or three people, we'll be in really good shape. So let's get this done. The other narrative that, I got it right here. The other narrative that has been feeding us for, 4 years, is that this country is telling our what to do. Well, when I was talking to someone, I again knew that I could not attack this person, because they truly believe what they are thinking is true. So if you're going to get them to think something else, you have to get them to see it from another angle and get them to at least question where they stand. Okay? So when they told me that this country was controlling this person, I asked them, again, I didn't attack them. I said, I am not being judgmental to any degree, but I have a couple of questions I'd like to ask. And they say, okay, go ahead. I said, do you think this person, remember, I'm not judging you, I'm just looking for an honest answer. I said, do you think this person is an egomaniac? And they say, absolutely. Absolutely. I said, okay. Do you know the gross national product of this country? And they would say, no. And I'd say, well, the money that this country makes is less than our state of Texas. That means they have less power than the governor of Texas, the person who runs this country, because he doesn't have any money. I said, okay, so you're telling me that an egomaniac is letting someone who has less power than Texas to tell him what to do? Just think it through. You don't have to agree with me, but does that make any sense whatsoever? So those are 3 things right there that you can give them. And then at that point, you can start telling them, do you know that there is only one against this? And that's knowing how it's done. And that way we can start teaching everybody so they wake up, so they're not brainwashed, they're not, what's the word I want? Hypnotized. That's the one I want this second. So they're not hypnotized. Please, either share this video or tell people about it, or use some of the things that I'm putting in here. It is so important that we stop. They are literally stealing this, and if they steal this, and it's in plain sight, you can't even argue with it. It's ridiculous. They've got videos of them cheating. They've got, you name it. They've got all sorts of evidence that they've been cheating for a long time, only this time they couldn't cheat enough, so they had to make it plain, right out in view. But if you don't wake people up, they will have us in just a few days. So please, use this information to help people to at least see what they're about to lose. The greatest society that has ever existed, and we'll never get it back. So let's fight for it. Thank you. Neil the Crazy Inventor, with the old cover of You're Amazing and I'll Prove It. And in the near future, we'll have a new cover. Thank you.
To learn more about Neil G. Brownell's book, You're Amazing and I'll Prove It, click on the link below. If you like this video, please hit the like button and hit subscribe to get more You're Amazing videos.